As a result of Trump's victory, the Dow Jones surged 1,500 points this week. Nancy Pelosi made so much money, she put a down payment on a new face. Pop star Madonna ate a cake that said F Trump. Meanwhile, Chris Christie ate a cake that said cake.
Tyrus just humiliated Whoopi Goldberg and torched The View live on air because apparently shouting over guests and calling Trump Hitler is what passes for journalism now. But Tyrus, he dropped a truth bomb so hard it left the woke table shaking. Check it out.
Richard Gere, the actor, has sold his Connecticut home for $11 million after revealing that he's leaving the United States.
Here it comes.
Good. And don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. It'll wake the gerbils. It's going to be on his tombstone. What's he going to do? Rachel Maddow is being mocked for warning the U.S. that it was headed for an autocratic government. She's also being mocked for her startling resemblance to Hawaii detective Steve McGarrett. Yeah, her safe word is book 'em, Dano. Earlier this week, President Biden called Donald Trump to congratulate him on his victory. He also apologized for the stains in the Lincoln bedroom, the Situation Room, the Oval Office, and most of the West Wing. Later this month, McDonald's will bring back the McRib at select locations. It's not exactly a Harris victory, but it's close, said one woman. According to a new study, the secret to better sex is a full night's sleep. So that's why Mike Huckabee is smiling. Yeah.
Not relief all.
And finally, according to a new study, having fewer friends could actually be better for your health. In a related story, guess whose life expectancy just doubled? You can assume everything that's being written is probably accurate until you read an article that you were interviewed for.
Yeah.
And then you read it and you go, I didn't say that, and that was a joke. I was joking when I said that. And it tells you that maybe all the other stories that you were reading about, I don't know, climate change or the automotive industry is equally flawed.
Well, you have to just start questioning things that you read and also look at motivations of things. There's certain people whose entire job, I mean, in our situation, is to watch Fox News and then write about how bad everything they saw was.
Yes.
So that's their motivation. That's their job. So you have to read that with that lens. But that's not like that's the only form of media out there that does stuff like this. These people on these channels, when this worked for a while, right? When this worked for a while, where they had their highest viewership, talking about Trump and all these bad things are going to happen and the walls are closing in.
Yes.
The walls haven't, obviously, is reelected. So, but that's kind of worked for them for a while. So that's why they're doing it. Division and this kind of fear mongering, it makes money. It's far more interesting to say that on TV than it is to say, Trump won, but it's probably going to be fine. People tune in for, so I'd say look at motivations of things.
Yeah, the walls are closing in, but it's the wall on our border.
I think Kat absolutely nailed it. MSNBC, CNN, The View, these aren't news outlets anymore. They're luxury echo chambers where millionaire hosts sit on velvet couches lecturing working Americans about morality while spewing race-baiting garbage that would get anyone else fired. And it's not even subtle anymore. Every segment follows the same tired formula. Blame white people, blame men, blame Trump, and when that doesn't stick, blame Russia. There's always someone to blame as long as it's not themselves. So yeah, I agree with Kat 100%. Now watch as Tyrus wraps it up perfectly. The media isn't informing the public anymore. They're brainwashing them.
See what I did there? And I got applause.
If you wanted me to to clap for you. You could have just asked.
Yes, yes. What about that, Tyrus? The fact that, like, okay, we always have to begin every time I ask. You called this early on. You said the polls were BS, but do you believe that it was artificially made close because of what Kat was saying to keep the money flowing?
No, I think the problem is that we have an elite group of narcissistic morons. So, no, I wish that was a joke, but it's not. They don't. To go on TV every day to objectively talk about something, you have to study, you have to research the pros and cons. And both candidates, you should find things you like, things that concern you. It's called doing work. That's why all the old journalists look so old, because they smoked cigarettes and stayed up all night checking sources and this, that, whatever. When you get The View, who are like, I don't have to think anything. I don't like them, and I'm rich, so you shouldn't like him either. And I can say anything because no one's going to check me. I surround myself with people. They'll have one puppet Republican who was scared to death to say anything against them, or if she does come out, they'll interrupt her nonstop. So there's this level of stupidity, and it spreads because they don't have to. All they have to say is Trump is Hitler. And their followers will be like, well, maybe he is Hitler. But then if anyone actually paid attention in history class, they'd be like, he's not anything close to Hitler.
Yeah.
There is no other Hitler, hence why we know who Hitler is.
Yeah.
Because there's just an ignorance and it's an arrogance to where I can just say whatever I want to. Then they get caught. And they can't say, I have been wasting network money lying to you. So they have to double down and go even stupider.
Yeah.
And keep saying things like, I only watch because of the clips. You force us to watch The View.
I do.
He does. He does. He's like, yeah, you predicted it. Good job. Guess who's watching The View for a month? So, Kat's baby's gonna come out and be like anti-Sunny. But as you watch them, you see them just age and cringe because they get caught up in their lives. So what do? The new word is misogynistic. And guess what? Their only mistake was they blamed white men. They forgot that black men, Hispanic men, and Asian men too. So that's the new thing. And then they're like, oh, it's just men. And then they're like, well, 53% of women. Oh, it's stupid women and men. So they'll just keep going till they're down to the only thing you can trust is a penguin. The penguins, they get it because they're running out of people to blame.
Yes.
So this is fun because they just keep it going, keep it going. Next thing we hear is apparently the extraterrestrials also voted for Trump. So it's a long line of just stupidity because you don't have to practice or educate yourself to be stupid.
Yes, that is.
Isn't it crazy? We actually need guys like Tyrus to say what should be obvious. But here we are, and thank God he does. Because the media, they don't want you thinking for yourself. They want you arguing about skin color, pronouns, and fake outrage while they cash checks and protect power. They're not informing you. They're programming you. It's not journalism. It's elite-approved brainwashing wrapped in virtue signaling. Drop a comment. Are you sick of the media playing the same tired blame game? Hit that like button if you are done falling for it. And subscribe if you're ready to think for yourself.